right, we're on Perek Vav Mishnah Aleph of Masechet Parah. We have the ashes. We finally got the water. We got the water into the kli. Now, just in order to understand this Mishnah, you have to remember a few things. First of all, the thing we call the vessel, we call the water that they kept the water in. They call that the shoket. Shoket is a trough. I don't know why, but that's the word that's used for the vessel that the water is held in. That we're now going to put the ashes of the paradum in. We're going to do kiddush. On the other hand, the vessel that we put the ashes in, that's holding the ashes of the paradum, is called the shvoferet. That's what it's called. Shvoferet is like a tube or something, but that's the name of the thing. So that we have the shvoferet, right? And then we have another thing called the shoket. We can use anything else we want. We have the shoket as the water. I'm going to take the ashes out of the shvoferet. I'm going to put it in the water. Okay, says the Mishnah, Amekadesh, a person who's doing this kiddush. Mekadesh mechatat. What does that mean? Habalitein me'efer hapara l'toch hamayim. That's all it means. You're coming to you put the ashes of the parah into the water. V'hu kiddush amor b'chol mechiltin. That's kiddush that we say in all the mechiltin, in all of our midrashim. Okay, it says in the Torah, at the end, we're ready. We have the efer. We put it outside. V'iniach memakom tahor. It should be as a mishmeret, the main nida. You'll save it for a mishmeret. Now, the Torah gives us a bunch of laws about Tumah and Tara, about when you do it. Finally, you take from the tamei, from this afar, from these ashes, v'natan alav mayim chayim el keli. And you're putting it on mayim chayim to a kli. And we talked about this idea, it had to be in a kli. So we're ready to do that. So now, if you do this, Makadesh, if you're about to drop the ashes in the water, v'nafal hakidush al yado. Oops, it doesn't fall into the water straight. It fell into his hands. Or al atzad, or on the side of the kli. V'achakach nafal el hashoket, and then it fell into the shoket. The shoket is the trough, but here it means into the receptacle kli, into the receptacle with the water in it. Pasul, that doesn't work. That's not v'natan alav. Doesn't count. Nafal min hashvoferet la shoket. If it fell straight, if it fell from the shvoferet into the shoket, that's also pasul. That doesn't work. It has to be v'natan alav. You have to take it and place it. Natal mishvoferet. If you took the ashes out of the shvoferet, out of the ash holder cup, v'chisa, and you covered the ash cup. Natal ever min shvoferet v'chisa shvoferet kodem shikaresh. You covered it before you did the kiddush. Means you did something in between kiddush. Remember, one thing we said, rule. Okay, we learned shachatat. We learned melacha poselet b'mayim ad she'atil v'etefer. So you have the water. Remember, the water is in the cup. The ashes are in here. Melacha is posel the water. The water. If you do anything before you take the water out, you have to have kavan. You can't do anything without this water until you put the ashes of the paradum in it. So now you're putting the ashes in. So you take the stuff. You take the ashes out of the shvoferet and vechisa, and then you cover that kli. Okay. Oh, shehi gif et hadelet. Or you, stopped up the door. You propped open the door. Like the door is about to close and you stopped it. Hakidush kasher, v'amayim psulim. Okay, the ashes, the efer shibido is okay. Water is not good. Why did I say it? Melacha imamayim? Because you did melacha with the water, so the water is no good. So you got the ashes in your hand. Better get new water. You don't want to waste those precious ashes. Zekafa ba'aretz pasul. So kafa ba'aretz, you stood up on the ground. Pasul, litoch yado, kasher. But if it was in your hands, it's kosher. Mipnei she'efshar, because it's possible. So now we're going to see what this means. It says about Tanura. Zikafa ba'aretz. After you took the ashes, he niach hashvoferet ba'aretz. You put the ash cup on the ground. Kodim shitein ha'ivra b'mayim, before you put the ash there. Pasul, amilui, the mayim, the water is pasul. Because you did melacha with the water. So that's what it's saying. Zikafa ba'aretz. You took the ash thing. You took it out of your hand. Then you said, no, take this and put it on the ground. That's melacha. You interrupted your work, so it's pasul. But litoch yado kasher. But if you left it in your hands, okay, lishmor ha'efer shebetoch hashvoferet. Okay, if you left it in your hands, if you kept the efer in the shvoferet. Im lo yakof yado al pia, right? Why? Meaning, if you put it on the ground, it's pasul. But if you kept it in your hand, if you covered it with your hand, so that the ashes, you kept it in your hand so the ashes don't run away, don't blow away, then it's kasher. But now you have a problem. Efshar, because it's possible, means what? He says, Lefi she'i efshar. Because it's impossible, lishmor ha'efer, shebetoch ha'shvoferet, im lo yakof yado abiyah. If you don't, the ashes are going to blow away if you don't cover it with your hands. So there's nothing else you can do. Okay, you can't put the stopper on the ash cup until you do the kiddush. So therefore, he says, if you put it down on the ground, they're pasul. But if you just cover it with your hand, if you go like you cover it with your hand, then it's okay. But then you're stuck. Then the bartuner is stuck because then you have to have the girsa of the fi she'i efshar because there's no other way. He says pirush acher, another pirush zekafa ba'aretz, hiniach ha'afar ba'aretz. Pasul ha'efer. The problem is if you left it on the ground, then the efer is pasul. Now we're not talking about the water, we're talking about the efer. If you put it on the ground, pasul, the ashes are pasul. Because let's go back to the pasuk we saw. Because it says, you should, it has to be guarded. You can't put it on the ground, you have to guard it. That's not guarding it, that's a problem. And the efer is pasul. But l'toch yado, but he says, according to this pirush, okay, if you kept it in your hands, efshar l'shamra, you can guard it in your hands. That's called the mishmeret. Ulefiza garsinan. Then we have the girsa of the fi she efshar. In the first explanation, you'd have to say b'nei she'i efshar. Here you have the girsa of because efshar. It's worth it to check for 1 second. What's the girsa? Interesting. This is Pama de Rossi. Zikafa ba'aretz pasul letoch yado kasher b'nei she. Look at it. You see this? Efshar. Is it Efshar or E Efshar? Efshar. Aleph Yud Efshar. That's like it's trying to play both sides. Let's look at one more. Look at Parma. Another one in Parma. Let's see if it gives it to us. Okay. Mipnei she Efshar. I guess in a bunch of different places they spelled it in this interesting different way. Is it Efshar or E Efshar? This one always, the Munich one never really works well for me. Let's see if we have one here. Okay, Parak Vav, Halacha Aleph, Bipnei She'ifshar. They all spell it that way, so I don't really know. All right, we'll stop here. Dedicated, fascinating, dedicated our learning to the memory of my father, Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.